Okay, everyone, we are back for more Please Be Happy in the last one. What did we do in the last one? Was the last one just Halloween? I think it was just Halloween in the last one. Sorry, this is actually the next day, so I don't remember exactly what we did, but I'm pretty sure. So we did Halloween, we did the dog stuff. Did anything else happen? I'm not sure. Let's go. Anyways, we're still in the last chapter, which I'm scared for because we've played this for 3 episodes now already. So I'm like, oh gosh, how near the end are we getting? Oh wait, last time was when Gerby or Jerby. I've been listening to someone play back through this game. And they're still like in chapter 1, and they got to the Gerby part, and they said Jerby, and I'm like, how have I been pronouncing it Gerby this whole time? Because like they've said his name since then. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do I keep messing that up? I don't get it. But it's fine. That's fine. With all that being said, let's just get into it. Oh yeah, also Silver's gone. She's gone too. That was all last episode. They're saying goodbye to people, and it's very sad. Okay, anyways, the last library guest of the day turns out to be my favorite one. Aspen enters just after closing time with a small wrapped package in her hands.
Aspen, I didn't know you were coming.
I drop what I'm doing to go greet her at the door. The dog does too, and so she stoops. Yeah, and she stoops. This is a rough one already. And she stoops down to pet him.
That's because I wanted it to be a surprise. Also because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get off work in time. But we managed.
Ooh, a surprise?
She shakes the box she's holding. Its contents rattle generically. Generically?
Right.
What?
I have a present, but I'm afraid it's not for you.
For Juliet?
No, for the dog. Aspen just smiles and responds. She takes my hand and let me lead her towards the kitchen. And I let her lead me towards the kitchen. The dog follows behind us. Juliet's already there.
Aspen, good evening.
Hello, hello.
She sets the box on the table and then takes a seat with a sigh, just like she was showing up for breakfast.
This is the first time I've been able to sit down in hours.
Thank you for joining us. I'm sure you must be exhausted.
It's fine. This is important after all.
What's going on? I'm totally confused by now. Same.
Wait, Juliet knew you were coming? I thought your present was for her.
It's for the dog.
Nope. I just said it wasn't for you. Although you'll still need to open it because it's for him.
She gestures at the puppy who's on the ground, chewing on his own foot. Aspen slides the box across the table towards me, and I lift it up. It isn't very heavy. Both Aspen and Juliet watch me eagerly. I slice a hole in the wrapping paper, and then rip it all away in one go. Beneath it is a box with brightly colored letters. I try to sound them out slowly.
Deluxe printer ink cartridges.
Aspen, who'd been leaning forward in anticipation, deflates a little.
Not quite. That was the only box I could find. Open it up too.
I use one of my nails to cut the tape on the box and pop it open. Inside are a small collar and a leash. I let them out gently.
It might be a little big for him now, but I thought he'd grow into it soon. Without having him with me, I just had to guess what the right size was.
I look from Aspen to Juliet, to the dog, and then back to Juliet.
Does this mean...
Indeed. They're gifts for the newest member of our household.
Ooh, let's go! Oh, I love it. He's so cute. Oh, I'm so happy that he's here.
I've searched and I can't find anyone looking for a lost dog like him. Nor has anyone reached out to me about it either. As he's already house-trained, he clearly lived in a house at one point. But it seems that was a long time ago. I don't believe he'll be going back.
Oh, that's so sad.
And besides, he seems happy to be here. He's already found himself a home with you.
Oh. The dog himself gets up and comes to sniff the accessories in my hands.
While I'm sure I know the answer already, I feel I should ask all the same. Would you like to keep him?
Yeah. I look down at the animal beside me. If someone had tried to put a collar on me, if someone had tried to keep me, I would have done everything in my power to avoid it. Kicked, bitten, ran, whatever. There's no way I'd have allowed someone to control me like that. but he's not me. Already, the dog is looking healthier than when I first found him. He's filled out a bit, and his ribs don't poke out as much. He's been better behaved than I would have been too. Juliet even said he must have had. Even said he must have lived in a house before. I've seen that he doesn't all the. I've seen that he doesn't always know how to take care of himself either. If I hadn't taken him in from the park that day, it could have been a matter of time before he got hurt, like when he almost got hit by a car. I grew up in the wild, always looking after myself, but he needs a little help. When I look back up at my friends, their faces are slightly concerned. They probably expected me to answer yes right away.
I want to keep him. But what if he doesn't want to stay? He's been comfy here so far, but what if that changes?
No, it's fine. He loves it here. Listen. He's already attached to you. The moment you tried to leave and he wanted to go with you and wouldn't stay, that's him being attached to you, alright? He loves you already.
Why not ask him?
He doesn't know any words like Percy and Byron. I just talk to him anyway.
Those two are very well spoken, I'll have you know. But that's not what I meant. Don't you remember back on
No. Her face goes a little red.
that day I asked you out? You were telling me how animals don't have to communicate with words. Could you maybe ask him as a fox?
I haven't thought of that.
Oh, come on, Miho. Come on. That's immediately what I thought when she was saying ask him too. I haven't transformed in a while. I haven't had any reason to. Aspen's right, though. Maybe there are things I can say that way. Setting the leash and collar on the table, I take a couple steps away from the dog and change forms. More than ever before, I can feel the magic coursing out of my bead and into my body like blood. The sensation of my limbs shortening, of my face changing and fur growing out, stand out more than usual. They are uncomfortable, but I'm used to barely noticing it at all. When my transformation is complete, the dog begins to growl. His hackles raise and tail stiff, and he backs away slowly. He's clearly afraid, but the nuances of what he's trying to say are hard for me to pick up, because I'm not so out of practice because I'm not so out of practice. It's like when I try to speak Korean after a long time. Danger, danger, fear, missing, where? I get the impression that he wants to know what happened to me. The me that he knows, and that disappeared suddenly. He's probably never seen a fox before, but he instantly identifies me as a threat. Above us, Juliet and Aspen watch anxiously. My tail brushes from side to side, and I keep my ears and body language friendly. I try to impress upon him that I'm not dangerous, and that I'm the creature he's looking for, and the creature that he's looking at is his person. Danger, doubt, danger, fear, doubt. Instead of growling or barking or any other sound, I make to talk to other foxes. It's more like I have to will my thoughts across to him. I try to convey that he can trust me, that he knows me still. The growls soften, but he keeps his distance and fur raised as he sniffs the air. Doubt, doubt, trust, doubt, danger? Just a couple inches away, I stop and lay on the ground, showing that I trust him in return, and I know he's not a threat to me. Doubt, doubt, trust, trust, trust? Finally, he approaches me, and his nose goes still. We look into each other's eyes, and then he gives me a gentle kiss on the snout. Aww, trust. I nuzzle against him, showing him that his faith was well placed. As I do, I try to convey other feelings to him. In the same way as him. Home, I tell him. Stay? I ask. Home? Stay safe? I imagine him settling down here like I have, until everything is familiar. Going to sleep, well fed and safe, and waking up rested. Maybe he had that before. If so, I don't know how anyone could have just abandoned him and left him to fend for himself. I don't know how they could be so cruel. If there's one thing I can promise, it's that I never let that happen. Even if I couldn't take care of him myself anymore, I wouldn't just abandon him. I wouldn't just leave him alone. His tail thwacks against the wall as he wags it. Now that he's figured out who I am, it doesn't seem like he has to think about it. I'm sorry, I just woke up like not too long ago. I'm very sleepy. Now that he's figured out who I am, it doesn't seem like he has to think about it too hard. Home, 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 home. I transform back into my other form. This time he doesn't seem bothered at all. Picking the leash and collar back up, I finally smile at Aspen and Juliet.
He's gonna stay.
Yay! Yay! I mean, I doubted he was gonna leave, but you know, you can't be too sure until it happens, you know? So I'm happy now. Hang on, I need a drink. Good water. Aspen helps me put the collar onto the dog, and then we head out into the backyard with
I'm
him.
glad it fits all right. He doesn't seem to mind too much either.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. Maybe he's used to it.
Or maybe he knew you were doing something good for him.
Aspen and I sit down on the steps while the dog runs around. He finds a ball that he left out here earlier and brings it over to me to throw. I toss it, but not too far, and he hurries off to get it.
Have you thought about what you're going to name him?
No, not
Excuse me.
really. I guess he needs one though, huh?
It's better than just calling him the dog all the time.
No, the dog works. It's a great name.
Right. Well, if I was gonna be consistent, then I should probably call him Og or Uppy.
Aspen laughs.
Perfect. I know who to ask if I'm ever struggling to name a character someday.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before she left today, Silver told me she'd picked a name for herself too. She chose Umbi. It means silver rain in Korean.
That's gorgeous. I like that she kept silver as part of it. I suppose that means you helped name her too.
You're right. I wonder if she thought about it that way. I'll bet she'd change it on the spot if I ever asked her. I wish you could have talked to her more. I wish I could have too.
I'd have liked to know her better as well.
For her story?
That's part of it. But it's not the only reason. From what you've told me about her, she seems like a good person deep down, who hasn't had the opportunity to express that much. She seems like someone who could have come to be an important part of our lives. Not to say that she isn't already important to you.
Like him.
Not too far away, the dog rolls around in the grass, kicking his feet in the air. My dog.
Yes, exactly. You said it yourself about Unbi. The two of you are like family. And now this fellow is part of the family too.
Aww. Oh, they updated his art. Let's go. I pat my leg and the dog instantly sits up to walk over to us, greeting each of us with a lick on the hand. I think about what Juliet said a few minutes ago when she was telling me he could stay. Suddenly it comes to me.
Happy.
Is that what you're gonna name him?
His name is Happy.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so cute. Happy looks up at me, his tongue lolling out of the side of his face. Out the side of his face in a smile, Aspen
Do you
giggles.
like that name?
I ask him the question, knowing that I won't get an answer. Still, it just feels polite to ask. Even though I choose to do it as a human, not a fox.
I'm sure he does. A saying that I appreciate is that names are a gift that someone gives you. And if it doesn't fit, you can exchange it for one that does. In this case, I think it suits him perfectly.
Watching the dog close his eyes in comfort as he keeps getting attention, I'm glad that Aspen
Now
agrees.
that you mention it, I've done a lot of name exchanging too.
You only started going by Miho here in Welly, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised you remember that.
She taps her
I'm
forehead.
good at remembering important things, and Miho things are important.
Aww. I lean against her, resting my head on Aspen's shoulder.
I think I like being Miho. All the good things in my life started happening after I picked that name.
I like you being Miho too.
The two of us sit for a while more, playing with Happy, until he gets too tired to keep chasing the ball. Taking that as a sign that we should call it a night, all three of us head inside together. Aww. That was awesome. I love that his name's Happy. That is the best. That's the best name that they could have picked for him. Like as funny as Og and Uppy were, I like that. With a flourish, Aspen slides 2 plates onto the table between Juliet and me. There's a fresh cut fruit, some warm potatoes, and a sandwich made with bacon and cheese. I hardly ever have meat anymore, so it's a rare treat.
Whoa! This looks really good.
I'm glad I haven't lost my touch. I don't do this kind of table service very often, you know.
I know. We must be your favorite customers or something.
Yeah, something like, ah, gosh, I bumped my desk.
Maybe, but don't tell the rest of them.
Today is Aspen's last day at the Spell House, so she invited Juliet and I to breakfast for a change of pace. Happy came along too, of course, and his leash is tied tightly to my chair. Juliet shifts her parcel a little bit to match the rising sun. She sips her tea and smiles warmly.
There's a reason this is our favorite cafe to visit.
Soon to be second favorite, I hope.
Aspen leans against the railing, looking up at the sky. The sun really highlights the bags beneath her eyes, and all the small things that probably only I notice, such as how her apron is tied more sloppily than she usually likes, or how her hair is done up roughly. Still, even this close to the finish line, she looks a lot better than she did when she was working on her book. Happier and more content, instead of looking like she's going to fall over at any moment. There's no one who deserves it more. Aww. She catches me looking at her and pretends to glare.
Just getting cold, Miho. I worked hard on that, you know.
You just brought it out. Stop that.
Sorry.
I lift up the bag to take a bite, and take a big bite. Just like the strawberry croissant, it's messy but delicious. Don't they make anything to eat here that doesn't need to come with a stack of napkins? Don't. My brain's not working. I'm sorry. I'm still so tired. I was actually planning to have breakfast before this, just so I could wake myself up and go for a walk. But then I'm like, okay, but my sausage that I was planning to cook with the breakfast is like wrapped in like metal and stuff. I don't want to put that in the microwave to defrost it. So I just kind of have to leave it out for a little bit till it thaws enough for me to actually be able to unwrap it, you know? So that's what we're doing. Same thing with the hash browns that I have. They're like, it's just a solid chunk of ice. I'm like, I don't want to cook them all, so I need to wait for them to defrost a little bit, then I'm going to go break them up essentially. So now we're here. Don't they make anything to eat here that doesn't need to come with a stack of napkins? I still managed to finish it in a hurry.
That was so good. I didn't even know you had them on the menu. Or I'd have ordered one before.
It's not on the menu. It's just something I put together myself. I had to mark out a lot of different items to make it.
Dang, she's good at this. She's like constantly making new drinks. She's making a new sandwich. That's incredible.
But if you think so highly of it, then maybe I'll think about adding it to my store.
You should. I'll eat one every day.
Every day is an awfully long time.
It was that good.
I saved a little bite for Happy, who's currently protecting us from everyone who passes by. He doesn't bark or growl, but he keeps pace with them, walking as far as his leash will let him before going back to the start. He never tries to go too far, though.
Happy!
He tilts his head and then comes running, and I hold out the treat on the palm of my hand. Being as careful not to bite me as he can, he pulls it away with his tongue and munches. Well, happily.
Perhaps you should consider dog-sized version on the menu too.
That would be the most adorable thing my team ever hated me for. I should keep some dog biscuits though. I'll have to write that down.
Oh, that was such a fun way to put that. That would be the most adorable thing my team ever hated me for. From one of my pockets on her apron, Aspen retrieves something I haven't seen her in a while. A small small notebook and a pen. She starts to write something down and then freezes.
Juliet, I just remembered.
Setting the book on the table, Aspen hurries into the cafe. Juliet and I both watch her go. Even Juliet seems a little surprised. But 10 seconds later, the door flies open again and Aspen is back, carrying a different piece of paper.
Regina approved
Nani?
my idea to put a reading corner in the new store.
Let's go! Let's
I was
go!
wondering if you would let me borrow a few books to stock it. Maybe it could even be an extension of the library.
She holds up the paper, showing us a sketch of what it'll look like. Several wooden shelves line one wall, and on the other side is a tall bookshelf that separates the reading spot from the counter in the kitchen.
It hasn't been set up yet, but they'll be installing it tomorrow. So on opening day, all that will be left to do is fill the shelves.
Juliet claps with delight.
I love that idea. It would be my pleasure to share our collections.
Aspen beams, and I can't help but smile too, for both of them. I know that in a sense, this is another dream come true for
Why
Aspen.
don't you come by tomorrow and pick out a few, and we can bring them to you at the opening.
That sounds great. I already have a list somewhere. I started daydreaming a little bit when I first came up with the idea.
I sit back and listen to the two of them chat about books for a while. It's nostalgic. All the names and titles go over my head as unknown to me as they were months ago. This time, though, I don't mind. I don't feel left out. I wait for the conversation to reach a lull before clearing my throat. There's something that I want to talk about too. Something I've only become more sure of since yesterday.
Hey, speaking of new jobs and stuff,
Is it finally time? Are we gonna get a new job?
I've been thinking about maybe trying something new instead of working at the library. If Juliet doesn't mind.
Of course not. Please, follow your heart, and I'll always support you. Is there something in particular you want to try?
Yeah. It's something I just thought of a couple days ago, but that felt right as soon as I did.
Oh? Oh, what are we doing? On the ground beside me, Happy hasn't left since I gave him that bite of sandwich, even though he hasn't gotten anything else since then either.
It was something this guy made me realize I want to do too.
Is she gonna, like, set up, like, some kind of, like, animal shelter or something? Is that what we're doing?
I want to try to help out at the nature preserve.
That's also what that's what I was thinking. Oh, that's so fun.
Yesterday, Aspen said that Happy kind of reminded her of Unbi. That's Silver's new name, by the way.
Ah, sorry, I had to disconnect my headphones for a second. It was going all staticky on me.
Anyway, not just them, but also that burn. The one I found in the woods that we weren't able to save. I think about it a lot. I want to try helping others like that. Other birds and dogs and whatever they have there. Like
That's
how
awesome.
Someone helped me before too. Lots of someone's, I mean.
Oh, Miho, that's wonderful. How perfect for you. I'd be glad to give you a recommendation to Amaya. I believe they're always looking for volunteers. After a while, you could even apply to work there, like Amaya does. But listen to me getting ahead of myself. I'm already so excited for you.
I hope we actually get to at least do like one story beat of us like volunteering there. That's all I'm asking for. Because again, I know that we're nearing like the pseudo end of the story. So like as long as we can do like one day shift there or something like that, that's all I need. Aspen looks a little more concerned.
I agree. That does sound like something that would be just right. But
Oh.
what about your magic? With the library, it's not a big deal since you live with Juliet. You couldn't see all your co-workers every day, though.
Yeah. I thought about that. I think I have an idea, but I'm not too sure about it yet.
What if we just recorded a video of you and then put it on a screen somewhere there and just to make it like in the break room or something, and then all the employees have to see you every day. Like it could be a silent video too, just like something to be like, hey guys, daily Miho check. I don't know. That's what my mind went to immediately.
What were you thinking?
I don't want to say right now. I'm still thinking about it. I'll make up my mind soon, though.
I can tell Aspen wants to know more, but she forces herself to stiffly nod all the same.
All right. You can tell us when you're ready.
Thank you. It won't be long, promise.
If that's not... It's not that I don't want to tell her, it's just that I don't want to get her hopes up. I'm kind of afraid of getting my own hopes up too. Yeah. I take a breath, feeling my bead rise and fall with my chest. Maybe I'm just afraid in general. Still, I swallow that fear, pushing it to the back of my mind. I can brood and ponder later. Right now I just want to focus on what I've got, enjoying this meal and moment. In Juliet's typically reliable fashion, she manages to get a call set up for me with Amaya. She manages to get a call set up with me for that. I'm struggling so hard at reading today. In Juliet's typically reliable fashion, she managed to get a call set up for me with Amaya that same evening. At least this time, unlike with Minso, I don't have a whole day to fret about it beforehand. Instead, there's only 10 or 15 minutes between when she tells me she's going to reach out and when she comes up to my room to offer me the phone. It's only voice, not video, which makes it a little less stressful. Still, I have to calm my nerves a bit before I'm actually able to answer.
Hello?
Something I've been working on is how loud to talk when I'm using the phone. I always end up yelling since I can't really hear myself, but I've been trying to fix that for Aspen's sake. Still, I'm self-conscious about it as I press the phone to my ear.
Hi there, Miho, right? I'm Amaya at the Preserve. Nice to meet you.
Thanks! Nice to meet you too.
Oh, I was about to take a drink. Good thing I didn't. If all goes well, then this should be the last time I ever have to introduce myself to someone for the second time.
Juliet Juliet tells me you're interested in helping out around here and that you have a pretty extensive history with animals. Is that right?
Are we gonna swallow the bead? Or are we gonna try and destroy the bead? Because with the way she's saying that, and the way she's been talking, ooh, that's exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah, you could say that.
Awesome. I'll be honest, we could really use a hand right now. Or two, or four if you got 'em. As far as I'm concerned, a friend of Juliet's is a friend of mine. There's still a few questions I gotta ask you, though, both as a formality and just to get to know you better. No pressure. These aren't the kinds of questions you have to study for. Is that okay?
Yep.
Has saying no pressure ever actually made someone feel less pressure?
Great.
No.
First up, why do you want to help out here? Be as big or as specific as you want.
Because I want to help animals. I don't know if Juliet told you, but I used to be a fox.
No kidding. Bushy tail and everything?
9 of them.
Incredible. You'll fit right in. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Right. Back when I was a fox, someone saved me. And that's how I ended up turning into a person. Then once I got here to Welly, Julia helped me out a lot too. I like people a lot more than I used to now, but I still know animals pretty well. Better than most humans, I bet.
I love that. Okay, next question. What kind of work is it that you want to do? A lot of people, they sign up to help out here thinking it's going to be all clean and tidy like a hospital. It isn't. Animals are messy and dangerous, and you can't get mad at them when they screw up. Believe me, it's useless.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dirty work. It's a lot of being careful and still sometimes getting hurt. What I'm saying is, it's not easy. Is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, I am. When I said how I got helped out, back when I was a fox, I got my leg caught in a hunter's trap. I couldn't move, and it hurt more than anything I've ever felt. But there was this person who found me, who had already been nice to me before. Still, if I hadn't been about to die, I probably would have tried to get away from them anyway. They took care of me and helped my leg get better. They fed me and came to visit me every day, until the day they left my forest. So, I know what it's like to be that way, scared and hurt, and not sure who you can trust.
God damn. I'm so sorry. Us humans can be terrible, can't we?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. Just the god damn. I was just I don't know why it just caught me off guard a little bit.
Sometimes, but that's only some humans, not all of them. That's something it took me a long time to learn. There are good humans, though, like you and my girlfriend Aspen.
Oh, you're dating Aspen? I've heard Juliet talk about her for years.
Yeah, we're dating.
It makes my heart feel warm to say that.
Well,
Oh.
as far as I'm concerned, you've already got the job, but here we go. Last question, all right?
This has actually been a lot easier than I expected. I don't even have to try hard to think of the answers like I normally do. Instead, I feel confident in what I'm saying, in a way that I don't know if I ever have
Okay,
before.
here it is. Miho, do you believe in fate?
What?
Huh? Does she remember? What? I asked her that last time.
You remember that?
So that was you. That was gonna be my secret final question. I remembered having that conversation with someone, but for the life of me, I couldn't think of who. I thought someone must have tampered with my mind with magic or something. And to tell you the truth, I still can't picture what you look like.
Oh, you're exactly right, actually. I have this, I guess you could call it power. Where everyone I meet forgets about me in a day if I don't see them again. That's what happened to you.
She's quiet for a moment, probably thinking about what to say. In that silence, I make up my
But
mind.
I think I've figured out a way to get rid of it. I'm going to try it tomorrow. So, hopefully it won't be a problem. If you can remember me after this time tomorrow, then that'll mean that worked.
Still, there's silence. Did the call disconnect? Finally, she clears her throat.
Miho?
Her voice sounds rough, like she suddenly caught a cold. Huh? My hair stands on end. Why is she talking like that? Wait, is she
I
crying?
hope I'll give you a call tomorrow then. But first,
What?
you have to answer my other question. It's not the usual third question we ask, but I figure I don't need to ask about a time you met an animal in need.
Oh, right.
Once again, this question is easy to answer, but for a different
I
reason.
don't know. But I don't think I care. Because either way, I'm still living my life. If there's magic or something else, then that's not really up to me, right? So, I like what you said last time. Either way, I just want to be...
Fulfilled?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Aspen and Juliet.
Well, if there's one thing we can offer you here, it's that. Also a small salary. It's not gonna make you a millionaire or anything, but it should more than cover the bus fare or beer money, whichever you need more.
Really? I thought it was all volunteer stuff.
We usually start them off that way. Helps figure out which ones are serious about it and which ones are just looking for a summer job because mom said so. But I get the feeling you're gonna be a long hauler. What about you?
Now I have to pause to think about it. Also, I didn't even realize I was wearing my hood today. I was just like, I feel something around my face. Oh, my hood's up. And then Miho's just kind of sitting on like my forehead, basically. It looks so funny whenever I'm wearing the hood and she's just sitting there. Working at the library is the longest I've ever stuck with something, and that's only been a few months. What Amaya's talking about is a lot longer than that. After spending most of my life not thinking beyond the next 24 hours, and spending my time here taking my daily life for granted, I haven't had time. Why do I keep saying I haven't had time? I haven't had to think long term too much. Other than making sure Aspen, Happy, and Juliet are part of it, the future hasn't been that important to me. I need to start changing that though, especially after tomorrow. So maybe this is the chance to start the new year off with something else that's different for me. My New Year's resolution, Aspen
Yeah.
called it.
I'd like to be.
Super awesome, great. I haven't been this excited about a new hire in a long time.
Thanks.
I'm glad we're not on a video call so that she can't see me
I'll have to file
blush.
some paperwork to make it official, and get the okay for the expenses, all that boring stuff. I'll try to get back to you tomorrow, end of the week at the latest. Sound good?
Yep.
Good. You better get that magic thing taken care of, Miho. I'm gonna write myself a note to be sad if I forget about you.
Oh, I like Amaya.
Good.
She's
Talk to you
great.
soon, then.
See you later.
That's one of the things that's so most impressive about this game is like, here, have this one conversation with the character. Oh, you like him already. You're stuck with them. You love him already. It's so fast. The call ends and I immediately sigh once again. Of course, I can't blame her, but she makes getting rid of my magic sound so casual. In reality, that would be the biggest change of my entire life. Maybe even more than becoming a Gumiho in the first place. It's the change that I need at this point in my life, though. As both Aspen and Juliet loved to remind me, it was my path through life that made me who I am today. However, that person isn't the same as before. The things that matter to me now meant nothing back then. So it seems logical to me that I need to transform, steal. So it seems logical to me that I need to transform, steal, and be forgotten as change too. I'm grateful for everything my magic and my bead have done for me. But they're the final step from that path that I need to move past. Plus, if Yoonbi is right, then they're not separate things that I'll lose. They're just parts of me that I need to change too. That feels a lot more comforting, I think. Since Happy left with Juliet when she brought me the phone, I have to. I'm struggling so much. I'm sorry. Since Happy left with Juliet when she brought me the phone, I have a rare moment to myself. I remove my necklace and hold it in my hands. Something I do quite a lot these days. Even more cracks have appeared on the bead. It's broken in as many places as it is whole. That was a terrible reading, even though I got the words right. It's broken in as many places as it is whole. Lights leak out, shining on my palms. The bead looks like it could fall apart at any time. Fragile, like a human. Something would happen if I broke it, I'm sure of that. Something will happen when I break it. Tomorrow, Tomorrow. I've already given myself that deadline by telling Amaya. It's short, but it's less time to dread it and change my mind. Enough time to tell Aspen and Juliet, though. I want them to be there when I do it, too. I don't know what will happen. If I were to let myself think of all the possibilities, I'm sure I would end up talking myself out of it. Instead, I choose to believe what Yoonbi said, and what makes the most sense to me, that they would never make me into something that I don't want to be. I'll choose my own destiny instead, my own fate, whatever it may be. That's awesome. Let's go, Miho. Oh, I'm so excited for this. I was about to say, like, maybe with how poorly my readings have been, I should probably be like, I'll save this for after I eat breakfast. But I'm like, I can't wait. I'm sorry. If my readings are terrible in the next one, I'm so sorry. But yeah, all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one when we do something huge. And it also looks like we're also doing the play. So that's exciting. That's a lot of fun. We're doing both bead taking care of stuff and the play in one episode. Look at us being spoiled. Anyways, with all that being said, I'll see all y'all in the next episode. Bye-bye.